Welcome to The Favorites, the podcast presented by Bet365. We are part of the Action Network. I am Chad Millman, Chief Content Officer of the Action Network. Today is our Week 1 Thursday NFL Best Bets episode. I know I did a lot of this housekeeping on Tuesday for our first Tuesday episode of the season, but I do want to, we have a lot of new listeners who don't know sort of how we work during the season. So I want to be clear. Every week for years, my co-host, Simon Hunter, who I will bring on in a second, professional bettor, we have been picking 5 games against the spread for a big money season-long pick'em contest. On Tuesday's episode, we do an early look at all of the games, and we start narrowing down the field. We will talk about our Simon Says bet. We did that this week. That was the Texans plus 10. We talk about our exec decision bet. That was the Steelers plus 2.5. On Thursday, today's episode, we take the 7, 8, 9 games that we loved. We get closer to narrowing it down to our 5 favorite bets that we will likely put into the contest. Our 5 official picks are locked around Sunday at noon. You can go check the Action Network app for that. Follow the Faves 5 in the Action Network app if you want to see what those official 5 picks are. A couple of massive changes this year. One, we're adding a Sunday night recap episode, probably on the air by 7:30. It'd be after the afternoon games, before the Sunday night football game. We are spending way too much time on Tuesday rehashing Sunday's pain. We're going to get that out of the way. We can all share the emotion together. Plus, there might be some early lines that we like. That means 3 shows a week. Live, 1:45 on Tuesdays, 11 a.m. on Thursdays, 7:30-ish Sunday nights, always ending before Sunday night football. You can watch these shows live on the Action Network page, on YouTube, or in or in the Action Network app. You can also get it in an amp. Most important, I mentioned a contest. For years, Simon and I have had to sign up for another contest, and you guys got to follow along. This year, you get to compete against us for real, for massive money. The Favorites Podcast $100,000 pro football pick'em contest with our partner Bet365. We're giving away $120,000 in prizes for season long and weekly pick'em contests. Compete against me and Simon all season, every single week as well. The top 10 winners in the contest get paid out for season long. First prize gets 40 grand. Second place gets 10 grand. Thousands of dollars in prizes to weekly winners, with the first place every week getting $1,500. We're even tossing out your 2 lowest scores after Thanksgiving. 2 lowest scores before Thanksgiving. You have nothing to lose. So if you haven't signed up and you're listening to this podcast, I don't understand why. Go to favorites.actionnetwork.com. favorites.actionnetwork.com. Sign up for free. favorites.actionnetwork.com. Matt Mitchell wants 10,000 participants. I'm telling you right now, we have tens of thousands of listeners. So 10,000 should be more than attainable. Why listen to this pod if you aren't going to sign up for a free contest? Simon, am I right? Simon Hunter, my BFF, my companion, my compadre, professional bettor, my co-host, Simon Hunter. Am I right, Simon?
Oh, Chad, what would I do without you doing all that reading? Thank you, my friend. You're the best.
Listen, I want people to get involved.
Yeah.
I want us to grow. We have amazing listeners. Like I was telling people, please, if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube page, like this video. Our YouTube numbers were massive this past week. A lot of people subscribing. We really appreciate it. Listen, a huge request we had before the Tuesday episode, which we thought was a little packed, so we want to do it today. People wanted our season-long predictions. Even though we spent a freaking month previewing all of our favorite bets, division by division, we did not give our final 7 playoff teams, our conference championship game predictions, and our Super Bowl predictions. Simon, give us your 7 playoff teams, your conference champ predictions, and your Super Bowl winner. Here we go.
All right, we'll start in the weaker conference, the NFC. If people are new to this, and you think it's the repeat of every season. Basically, historically, 2 to 3 teams fall out every year of the playoffs, right? We've just seen it time and time again. They get a different schedule the upcoming season. It's harder than it was the previous year. They got injury luck the previous year. So just take that into account here when we're going to go through here. I don't mean to leave your favorite team off. I literally just have a model. I plug it in. Last year gave us the Eagles and the Chiefs to both be 1 seeds. Nailed it. So hopefully this year have the same type of luck. For the NFC, we'll start at number 7. The Detroit Lions. They sneak on in, get that 7 seed. And this is where people are going to start getting mad. The 6th seed, we got the 49ers. So they don't miss the playoffs. Like people said, I was being the ultimate hater. I'm just giving you the other side, right? It's just not as easy as everyone's making out to be. Everyone's got them penciled in to win their division. Everyone's got them penciled in to be at the Super Bowl. It never goes as everyone's planned. So got them as a 6th seed. Got the Cowboys at the 5 seed. Got the Bears, Chad, as the 4 seed. Seattle.
Wow.
Yeah. Seattle in the 3 seed. The Saints in the 2 seed. And the best team still in the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles. They're just, I know you can say they lost their coordinators and they got, rookie or second-year players, a linebacker. I still think offensively, they're the most talented team in the NFC. And defensively, their D-line, I still think will be above every other team they play in this conference. So still got the Eagles at the 1 seed for back-to-back seasons.
Oh my God. We are pretty close, actually. Except for the fact I have the Cowboys as the 1 seed. I have the Bears as the 2 seed. I have the Saints as the 3 seed. Niners as the 4 seed. Lions, 5 seed. Eagles, 6 seed. Falcons, 7 seed. I had a really hard time with the 7th seed in the NFC because of what you said. Like, teams fall out all the time, and I just didn't see like the Giants being a team that repeats. Like, the NFC East is pretty strong, so
it was just hard to get the Giants or the Vikings back.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I'm higher on the Niners than you are. You like Seattle. I understand it. I think there's going to be regression for that team, even though their defense is much better. And I know you love their wide receiver trio. I just don't think Geno can perform the same way. And I'm a huge Arthur Smith backer, and I love Bijan. And I think that offense can do pretty well. But interesting. All right. Who's your NFC title game?
So NFC title game, I went with a bunch of upsets. So basically, I had the 49ers upset, and I had the Cowboys upset. And then, again, I love the Bears, love Seattle, but I think Chad just talked about it, where it's just like these are very unproven teams, especially once they get to the playoffs. So as much shit as I like to give Brock Purdy, he was good in the playoffs last year, right? He really did not lose them in those games. He played, pretty patient, really wouldn't attack downfield, but he never really put his team in a position to lose. So, pretty boring. My final 2 is Eagles versus the 49ers again. I have it going back to that, and I got the Eagles making the Super Bowl. And we'll do the AFC first, and I'll give you who I got winning the Super Bowl.
I got the Cowboys and the Niners. So it's interesting because you have the Eagles as the top seed, and I have the Cowboys, and neither of us have the Niners as the 2 seed, but we both have them in the championship game. And then I had the Niners going to the Super Bowl. All right, let's go to the AFC.
Yeah, I think we're both on the same page, where once you get to the playoffs and it's the coaching mismatches, it's like it's so hard to go against Shanahan in the playoffs. He's just every year he's got his team ready come January. So AFC, start down at the 7th seed again. So again, had to leave 2 teams out of the playoffs from last year. I went with Miami. They're a team that has a lot of hype coming this year, and I went the Ravens, actually. So those are the 2 teams I left out from last year's playoffs. So the 7th seed, I got Denver. 6th seed, I got Bengals. 5 seed, I got the Chiefs. 4 seed, I got the Titans. 3 seed, I got the Bills. 2 seed, I have Pittsburgh. And the 1 seed, I got the Chargers.
This is so interesting. All right. In the 7th seed, I have the Ravens. 6, I have the Chargers. 5, I have the Chiefs. 4, I have the Broncos.
Wow.
3, I have the Jags. 2, I have the Browns.
Wow.
And 1, I have the Bills.
There you
So
go.
basically, you and I feel the same way about the Steelers and the Browns. And to be honest, like I was on the fence with both of those teams, and I just decided I like the Browns offensive line and defensive line
That's fair.
better than I like the Steelers in that combination. And you and I are betting the upside on the Browns. Like the Browns are one of my bigger division winner bets. And so that's oh my God, it's so fun when we're so close. Who do you have in the AFC title game?
All right. So this one again is so tough just because the AFC is so good, but I have it ended up being a Chargers Chiefs in the AFC Championship game with the Chargers moving on. So people already know if they follow this podcast, I'm all in on the Chargers versus Eagles Super Bowl, which you can get right now at Bet365 at 50-1. So that's a bet I do love. The Chargers versus Eagles Super Bowl.
Oh my God, Simon, our thinking is exactly the same, even though our teams are different. I have the Bills and the Chargers. So I had the Bills as the number one seed. You had the Chargers as the number one seed.
Yeah.
And I had the Bills moving on to play the Niners, which you can get at Bet365 at like 35-1 or 30-1. Oh my God, this is insane. That's so fun. Dude,
So yeah, we're both
we are
all in on the
so
Chargers.
close.
This is going to end well for us.
One way or the other. I'm going to have to get in on some of that Chargers Eagles action now that
yeah, throw a penny on it because both these teams don't need to be the one seed, but obviously we've seen over history that home advantage is just it's such a cheat code come playoffs.
All right, let's get to it. Let's get to Thursday.
Yep.
We have so much to talk about. As a reminder, we've mentioned Bet365. The Favorites podcast is proudly presented by Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook brand. Sign up with promo code ACTION to get Bet365's exclusive sign-up offer. Bet $1 on any game, get $200 in bonus bets. Must be 21 or older. Offer is available in Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, and Iowa. Gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. As a reminder, producer Tito is in my ear every day to remind me to tell you you can catch every episode of The Favorites live and on VOD on YouTube. So for those enjoying, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to the Action Network YouTube page, also on YouTube and in the Action Network app. Starting today, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, and every day, watch our daily betting show, Green Dot Daily with Maria Marino. It's amazing in the app, on Action's YouTube page, 3 p.m., setting the betting agenda for the day. Finally, last CTA, it's a call to action. Call to action. Sunday, the best pregame show in the history of NFL pregame shows. All the stuff, none of the fluff. Me and Simon, joined by Chris Raybon, Sean Kerner, cast of thousands. Our pregame show convinced me. 11 a.m. Eastern, in the app, on YouTube. Watch it. We got to get to our foxhole bet. We got to get to our big balls bet of the week. We're going to get to our survivor bet, which I forgot to mention on Tuesday. But a reminder, we got a lot of professional bettors who listen to this podcast and watch us on YouTube. After our show on Tuesday, we always get calls from the pros supporting our leans, ripping our leans. Simon, for the first time all season, let's do sharp calls.
Yeah, I would definitely say week 1 and 2. It's rare I'll get calls to try to help me and Chad. It'll be more calls of just people talking shit. Everyone's just showing their opinions at this point. Guys have betting these numbers for 3 months. So yeah, I would say I might have had 2 guys calling up saying they loved our picks, and the rest are just calling up just saying, how'd you leave these guys out? How are you not taking these guys? The biggest one is one I just know me and Chad won't take, but if you want to bet it, I would say 70% of the guys I heard from in the last 48 hours were all just loving this game, loving this matchup. And that's the Bucks. They love the Bucks. So my argument to them is in our contest, me and Chad are doing, it's 5.5. The number's 5.5. If we got the 6 or 6.5, yeah, me and Chad would probably have a better feeling towards putting this one in the contest. The fact that we're not getting that 6, which we talked all last season, 6 is such a key number now with how random kicking is nowadays and how random coaches going for 2 is. 6 has become such a key number, just as important as 7 is. So to me, that's one we won't have in. But if people want to know who the pros love the Bucs. They love that number. They just don't think the Vikings defense is good enough to really, have a 6-point line. Like to them, if Baker has the ball and his team's down 12 or 13, they believe in him to get that junk time touchdown to cover that number. So it was shocking how many people want us to take that number. And I can't get there. There's too many other games I love on the board that me and Chad talked about. Another big game guys love that we were on, Chad.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second. Because Stuckey and Raybon, Chris Raybon and Stuckey, who do the Thursday episode of the Action Network podcast, which is amazing. They'll do their Sunday 6-pack, which is their 6 best bets. They're actually doing that live on Wednesday nights, and then it's in the podcast that comes out on Thursday. You can watch that on YouTube as well, live on Wednesday nights. They love the Bucs. Stuckey loves the Bucs.
It's fair.
Yep.
Again, it's just we went to 6 or 6.5 in our contest. It's 5.5. So it's just I'm not taking a bad number on a bad Bucs team.
Totally. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
You're good. The one they loved, we got to put in now. I didn't want to put it in just because I hate waiting. Me and Chad both hate waiting. We have to put the Jets in, Chad, and that's a game we're going to break down.
All right.
Every pro just loves the Jets, and they're just saying we got to do it. And I want the 3. I want the 3.5 in the contest. It's just going to be 2.5. I don't see it getting to 3.5 in our contest. So got to suck it up. We'll talk about it and take the 2.5. But yeah, that was a big one. And the last one is Arizona. What are we going to do with this game, Chad? Everyone I talk to, just they're just yelling at us. We can't do it. We bet ugly. I feel like this is the ugliest game on the board. So that's another game we have to break down. But a lot of guys say we got to take Arizona. I think it's fair. Where it's a number I love, and of all the bets I made, I hate it the most, which is usually a really good sign. Like when I hate betting an ugly dog, it's never fun. It's never fun. Me and Chad are gonna be sweating it to the last play, but usually it comes through for us. So right now, ones I feel like we have to put in will probably be Arizona. Hopefully we get 6.5 or 7.5, and then we'll take the Jets 2.5, which I hate waiting. I hate waiting till Monday, but it's just such a good number.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. We already bet Arizona personally because we bet it back in May. It was one of the games we loved at +6. So we'll have a taste of it either way. Why don't we start with games that we're not really debating still, and make sure we're still on the same page.
I'm debating them all. My issue right now, Chad, is I have like 7 or 8 I really like. Where most people are going to come here on a normal week. I'll tell you, like a normal week, 3 bets is good for me. That's all I need. Two totals or 2 straight bets on a side. It's rare I have this many, but that's how it usually goes in week 1 and 2. There's just a ton of value because people are still betting off of what happened last year, where again, it's irrelevant to what's happening this season.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we can agree we love the Browns.
Yeah.
Like to me, the Browns are automatically getting into this contest. I'm going to be on the Browns all year. I think now is the best time because I think they're undervalued because I do think they're going to win this game outright. I know we're betting against a ton of Browns week 1 trends, but bottom line is that we don't know if Joe Burrow's right. We know that this is a dominant defensive line. We know this is a great offensive line. We know that they have great talent. It's a great opportunity for the Browns in a week in which the Bengals are going to be as overvalued as they are at any point in the season until they lose the first 5 games. And then we realize it's time to start betting the Bengals.
Yeah.
The Browns are in.
That's fair. Yeah. I got nothing to add to it. I mean, it's one of these, we're just playing the numbers and we'll make this bet. You come back next year, week 1, we have a home divisional dog that should be a pick, but we're catching 2.5 free points because the Bengals were so good last year. We'll take this number every time. So it's one of those where we like the matchup. We like that, this D line is one of the best in football for this Browns team. And we already know exactly what we're getting from this Browns team in the sense that I know I can count on Nick Chubb in this offensive line. Our only real question mark is Deshaun Watson. And because of that, we're getting free points here. So it's one of those where, yeah, Chad, I want, there's other games I do love, but this is one of these where it's like, it's hard to pass on it. It's such a good number and it's such a good matchup. Yeah, Chad nailed it. This is, again, won't be shocked come Sunday if this is one of the biggest public sides. It's just that they love the fact they're getting Joe Burrow under a field goal. And I can't make fun of him for it. Like, this guy, he is Joe Cool. So I totally get where the public's coming from. I feel like they don't see they're getting a bad number here.
Let me just, I just want to check the Action Network site right now. This is a Pros Joe's game. I'm looking at the numbers. 57% of the bets on the Bengals, 73% of the money on the Browns. For those who are listening or watching for the first time, when I say bets, that usually means the public. When I say money, that usually means the professionals. So we're on the right side of history right here. All right.
Yeah, and I'm looking at one of the most public sports books, their numbers. They got 73% of the money right now on the Bengals. So,
Jesus.
Yeah, people are walking right into it. But again, this is one of the most public sports books out there. So it makes total sense. They're getting tons of Bengals cash.
Well, they're walking into it, but we're not walking into a foxhole on this,
Is that it?
on this one.
We're
not walking into a foxhole. Dude, we're not in a foxhole on this. Every professional bettor is on this game. Everybody is on the Browns who knows what they're doing. We're not foxholes.
I would say you'd be shocked, Chad, about how many pros I know staying away from this just because they're scared of Joe. It's the same thing. I mean, we didn't talk about it, but that Chiefs Lions game. Like, I know a lot of pros who are like, I'm just going to take the Chiefs money line. Like, why would I not take it? It's dropped in price, and that's where the value is. So, it is interesting where there are certain quarterbacks where guys just won't battle with them, where we don't really think that way, Chad. Like, to me, this is one of these numbers we just have to take. So you could make it a foxhole. It is a little bit of going to battle to take this Browns team.
Dude, we have bigger fish to fry for the foxhole. We got, like, I'm looking at our list from Tuesday, and there's a couple games on here that are big balls foxholes that we're going to want to put in, but not this next one. Because I think we can both agree, fucking love the New England Patriots as home dogs against the Philadelphia Eagles at +3.5. And there's not much to me that we disagree on for this. And it's going to be one that we want to put into the contest.
Yeah, pretty easy here. Just an untested young defensive starters on this Eagles team. How are they going to deal with this really strong rushing attack that the Patriots have? So the Eagles, they do have one weakness on that team, and is the linebacking core. Belichick knows that. Bill O'Brien knows that. That's what they're going to keep on attacking. It just breaks right for what the Patriots want to do too defensively against this Eagles offense. I mean, we joke all the time, but that was a lot of what can stop the Eagles is good scheme. And we saw last year, especially when they played the team like the Colts. Remember that Colts game where the Eagles had to come crawling all the way back? I think they won by 1.
Yeah.
The Patriots kind of run the same style where they kind of bring down a safety. And they again, if the Eagles can beat them over top, yes, the Eagles should really take control of this game. I just don't think they will. I think Bill had a whole summer prepared for this game. So we already talked about the fact you can get 4 now, 4.5 if you're lucky. It's just because the right tackle is out for this Patriots team, most likely. So that is a big deal that they're putting a backup in. But if you look how that kid graded out, it's not going to be that much of a step down to this other kid they're moving in there. So to me, 3.5, if that's what it is in our contest, I still feel comfortable taking this. If the Eagles win this game, them winning by 2 or 3, that sounds right? In like a really close, hard-fought game, to me, that's a good number. The fact that it's still above 3.5, 4, come on, Chad. Got to do it. So I'm with you on that one. This feels like another game we just have to put in.
Got to put it in. All right, now it starts to get a little bit trickier because we got games that I know we love, but it takes a little bit more courage to pull the trigger. Let's talk.
It's just hard making it one of our 5s. That's what's going to happen a lot with a lot of these games.
Wait, say that again.
With a lot of these games, it's just going to be hard making them one of our 5.
Yeah, well, we got a list of like 6 or 7 games here that, we know we like 2. We got to choose 3 from probably this list of 6 or 7, knowing that come Sunday, there might be something that sneaks in. You always like convince me with something, and then it'll be 11:50, And you'll be like, well, we're getting the best of the number here. And then I'll have to say, how often does the best of the number matter in the contest? And do we want to walk away from all the conversations we've had? And, we have to find some soul searching in our confidence. But let's talk about the Falcons -3.5. I'm falling more in love with this Falcons team every day. I know we're an Atlanta Falcons podcast, but I'm having a hard time not wanting to bet the Falcons at -3.5. It even though I know it's like a divisional game, 83% of the money right now in the Falcons. So I know people are leaning my way. I don't think it's a foxhole. I don't think it's a big balls, but I like it.
Yeah, I don't know if Evan wants to chime in here. He's got some really great stats about rookie quarterbacks, especially the first overall pick making their first start.
Well, is Evan on? Can Evan come in?
I can tell you that it is number one picks are 0-13-1 straight up in their first starts since 2003.
All right.
And they're 1-13 ATS since then too. So it's bad across the board for the number one pick making their first start. It's one of those, Chad, where I'm with you. I hate taking such a public easy chalk pick, but every now and then you get a little gift, and this seems like that's a little gift where we're getting a rookie making his first start on the road against an Atlanta team that everything they do matches up really well against Carolina. The another big thing too is Brian Burns, arguably the best defender on Carolina, is holding out right now. That's a big deal. So to me, I probably got it right where it's at, 3.5, 4. Like, no crazy value here, but the value is in the pick itself, where all the trends love this bet with Atlanta. So we always got to force one favorite in. Me and Chad, we have to always try to force one favorite in. This will most likely be the favorite we end up forcing in as one of our 5.
I put 3 question marks next to it for now. All right. Are you ready?
That actually could be our big balls bet, just because we both hate taking chalk favorites that much, and it's taken us a little bit of balls to make it. But,
are you kidding me? Chalk favorites over a field goal in the division? That's like, I've never hated anything more than that.
Yeah, just even talking about it, I'm just, God, this is disgusting.
I hate it more than sugar. I hate it more than processed foods. I hate it more than flour. Like, I hate taking a favorite of 3.5 in a divisional game.
You'll love that stat. Who is the one quarterback, Chad, that covered that one time since 2003?
Well, you know the answer, and you know what I'm going to say, because you mock me for it every single time I mention his name, but it's David Carr.
The correct Carr. Way to go.
It's David Carr. And you will also remind me that whenever I talk about David Carr, I will remind everybody that I spent a week with the Texans for ESPN the magazine during their inaugural season before their first game, which they won against the Cowboys. And me and David Carr talked a lot about all the kids he was having. And you make fun of me for that every single time his name is mentioned.
Reliving those glory days when you ran ESPN.
Also, by the way, fucking Rich, that you're making fun of me for getting names wrong.
I don't say the names, though. That's my key to success. I just say that guy. I don't say the actual name.
Yeah, that's the key to your success. This guy, that guy. All right. I want to throw one out there. I think we're going to have to put in that is going to be a little bit of a big balls. Houston Texans +10.
Yeah. We can't go with 2 of them. If you want to go Houston, then we're not going Cardinals. Like, we can't go both of these guys. But
I would much rather go Houston than Cardinals.
That's why you should take Cardinals then.
No, I know.
But yeah, I agree. I feel better taking that. It's going to be 9.5 most likely in most contests, just because 10.5 is such a key number. Most books aren't going to give that to you, let alone a contest line. So, yeah, if you're fine playing with a 9.5, Chad, I could take it at 9.5. It's just, it's tough. It's like me and you are going to be sitting there in the second quarter, and Lamar's having a career day in this new offensive scheme he's running. It's 24-0, and it's just like, damn it. This is what it's like betting ugly rookies on the road with a rookie head coach. But Chad already talked about it. You're playing the numbers here. Double-digit dogs week 1. I believe it's a 58% rate. I mean, Evan could tell us in the comments. I know it's something high like that. So week 1, double-digit dogs. Again, you will listen to the show until you die. Me and Chad every year will be here week 1 taking the double-digit dog. You're always going to find value in week 1, especially on a double-digit dog.
I'm going to say it. Big balls bet of the week. Houston Texans +10 against the Baltimore Ravens.
Love it.
Let's do it. That is the one. Big balls. All right.
So we got a lot going on Houston now. We got them as a big balls and my Simon Says, Chad.
Yeah, well,
we're all in on
it
Houston.
Happens. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that.
Oh God.
Let's talk about the Steelers, because I love the Steelers.
Yeah.
And they were the exact decision. You complimented me in a backhanded way and said you liked it, but it was very much a public dog.
Yeah.
I feel like the Niners traveling, Kyle Shanahan is not great as a road favorite. It's a little bit of a public, the public is moving the value of the Niners outside the range of where I think it should be. Nick Bosa re-signed. We talked about it on Tuesday. I imagine he'll play.
Oh yeah.
But that doesn't worry me, because when TJ Watt is playing, he's such a difference maker for the Steelers that I think we got to play him.
Yeah, and I hate it though, because he's the defensive player of the year. He's so damn good. And even if he only plays 10 snaps, he's going to wreak havoc on all 10 of those snaps. He's just so dominant. So, yeah, I did love this number just because he was out. Like, that was a huge deal to me. I didn't think the bookmakers were making enough of an adjustment to this line. The fact that he's coming back, if you're a 49ers fan, you got to be ecstatic. But nothing changed for me, Chad. Still think this should be closer to a pick. We're still getting 2.5. Most books still have it at 2. We'll take that value. It's just, I think we already talked enough about it where it's Brock on the road coming back from a major injury in his first start. He's going to get hit in this game. There is no one on that line wherever TJ is going to line up, he's going to attack the weakest point of their line. So, you can have an all-pro at one of your tackles. They'll just move it to the other side. And that's just what they're going to do, Pittsburgh. So Kyle will adjust for that. He'll have some game scripts that will, try to get Watt off of his spot and get him uncomfortable. And, this is one of these games where the only way the 49ers win this game is they have to go up to a big lead. They have to go up to a big lead where they're never worrying about Brock dropping back, having to pass the ball, right? They have to keep the Steelers defense off rhythm. And I just don't see how it's going to happen. I think Kenny's going to keep Pittsburgh in this game the whole time, especially with all the weapons they have on offense. So just a bad matchup for 49ers to start the season off. What was it last year? I think, was it week 1? They went to the Bears and they played in a monsoon and the Bears ended up beating them. Yeah. It kind of feels like the same thing here where we don't even need the weather. It's just a bad spot. And that's what it felt like last year with the 49ers. They were just putting Trey Lance in his first start on the road in bad weather against that Bears team. I think me and Chad were catching like 7 or 8 on that Bears team.
Yep.
Unfortunately, people know that Pittsburgh is nowhere near as bad as that Bears team was last year. So, we took this at 3 months ago. It looked like it was going to get to 1.5 once Bosa wasn't going to sign. And then once he signed, you've seen it go up to 2.5. So contest line's 2.5. This is one of these games where I'm not going to force it in yet, Chad, but I would say it's definitely a finalist in our last 5, like our last spot for the 5 spot. It's this or the Jets is what I feel like we're really going to be arguing about. Like, do we want to wait or we just want to pull the Band-Aid and just go with Pittsburgh in this spot? Because we love Pittsburgh just as much as we love the Jets.
Kenny Baller. All right, so we love the Browns so far. We're all in on the Patriots. We're going to go with the Texans at +10. So we're basically talking about the Steelers as one team that could fill the final 2 spots. Another team that could fill the final 2 spots. New York Football Giants +3.5.
Yeah, but again, it's one of these positions of I do really like it. I just don't know if it's one of my favorite bets where historically the Cowboys have owned the Giants, and that's the big fear here, where divisionally they match up very well against them. So that's one of those, we're playing the number. That's a big number in a divisional game to start off the season. So got no issue putting that in, but I wouldn't put that on the same level as I have Pittsburgh or the Jets right now. It's like I love that bet. I'm happy to make it. I just don't know if it's one of my 5 favorite bets.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say we're taking Arizona out of this. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I think our final 2 spots are going to come down to the Steelers, the Jets, the Falcons, and there's one other team that we got to discuss, and we'll talk about the Jets too. I'm not forgetting that, but we know it's going to be in the debate. The Colts plus 5.5. Like, we gotta love the Colts.
That's the foxhole, brother.
Yeah, that to me is the foxhole.
Yeah, like I don't think I might have heard from one other guy that's like me that's betting pretty heavy on this Colts team. So no one's on this. Everyone hates this. Everyone's one of those where it's like I'd rather see it from him first and taking this Colts team where I get it. Richardson is, man, he's one of the biggest question marks heading into this season, just because we all know his athletic talent and his ability, but can he complete the throws? And a lot of guys don't think he can. I'm looking at this at advantage of, I think he's going to run for 100 yards on this Jags defense. I don't see anyone on this team's linebacking anything. Like, I don't know who they have to stop him. Like, you can be like, well, they drafted a bunch of young DNs. I don't think they can keep up with them. I don't know if they have the guys really to slow down this Colts offense. So, a lot of turnover, obviously, for this Colts team. 5.5, 5, 4.5. Way too much respect for a Jaguars team. Way too much.
Yes.
So that for me is a no-brainer. And I see our guy Evan just put in the chat. Yeah. Colts have the lowest percentage of bets right now of any home team this week.
Dude, we have to take the Colts.
Yeah. No, it's a no-brainer.
Every season in the opposite direction, we have said when the Jaguars are visiting the Colts, we're taking the Jaguars. We know it's terrible. But look.
Yeah, we were getting 3.5 usually.
And now we're getting 5.
Yeah.
Right? For a Colts team that has a decent defense, a lot of questions, obviously, but the Jags offensive line, and I am very high in the Jags. And remember, I got Trevor Lawrence 30-1, lead the league in touchdown passes. Their offensive line is terrible.
Yeah.
Their offensive line was terrible with Cam Robinson, and now he's out for the first 4 games. So this is inflated because of everything that's been going on with the Colts. We got to take the Colts.
Yeah, and I'm hoping our contest is 5.5, but I don't. Our contest seems pretty tough, so I'm assuming it's gonna be 4.5, just because it's usually a tough number. So, if you can still get the 5.5 out there, it's a no-brainer. It's just such an inflated number. We talk all the time though. 5's a pretty dead number, so as long as you're getting the 4.5, you should be happy with this number in this game.
Yeah, I'm waiting to bet this until I want to see how close we can get, because the 5 is a dead number. So if I get the 4.5, it's fine.
Yeah. If you're lucky, we'll get to 6.
And if we're lucky, it'll go up on Sunday. Like all the trends are, this number should go higher. Also, you can just set a line alert in the Action Network app, so you don't have to keep checking and updating and refreshing. Well, let's talk about BETING, the JETS, Jets. This number's at 2.5. On Tuesday's episode, your comments. This is too easy, and then you're begging bookmakers to give you the 3 because you know they're going to go there. Now we're getting people saying, just take the 2.5. How do we feel? Do we want to ask Matt Mitchell right now?
Yeah, give us your read on this, Matt.
The ultimate Bills fan?
I know that come Monday night, I'll have my latex gloves pressed against my face in agony as I get queasy on the last wing, and the Bills fail to win this game. Feels like the trappiest thing playing the NFL's new IT team and Aaron Rodgers in New York on 9/11. It just feels like a total disaster waiting to happen. So I don't feel good about it at all. And I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised. Also, from our friend Evan Abrams, Aaron Rodgers has won 9 straight Monday Night Football games straight up with Green Bay. His last loss was in 2013 to Chicago.
For those who don't know, Matt Mitchell eats his buffalo chicken wings wearing latex gloves because he doesn't like to get the sauce on his fingers. That's what he's referring to when he says he will have his face in his latex gloved hands because he's a bit of a serial killer. So let's talk about the Jets. Let's break it down. Why do we love this?
Yeah, that's an insane stat, Chad. That's crazy. There's a lot of reasons to love the Jets, but the biggest one we talked about on Tuesday is it's just a total mismatch for this Bills team. They got their biggest Achilles heel is that offensive line, and 90% of the time it doesn't matter because anyone that can catch Josh, no one can really catch Josh Allen, right? That's really his strength. He's so hard to bring down. Usually by the time their pressure is even there, he's already dished it out to Diggs or Gabe Davis. This ain't going to work against this front of this Jets team. They got guys who are running just as fast as Josh Allen. So when you're just looking up the matchup, the teams we're going to want to attack the Jets with are teams that can get after Rodgers. And that's another thing the Bills don't have defensively. They just don't have anyone who can really put the pressure on Rodgers. So what we assume here is this is a nice spot for this Jets team and a bad spot for the Bills team. We talk next week, we will flip it. We'll be going against the Jets. We'll be all over the Bills next week. But this week, yeah, it's just a terrible spot for this Bills team. And, the Jets are going to have their week in paradise. Like, what better way to start off primetime game? You have the big upset, and you can just talk about how amazing you guys are for the whole week. So, if you hate New York media and you hate the Jets, woo, it is going to be a long week if they win this game. If they blow them out, oh, my God. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like on talk radio, but to me, this is going to be a close, tight game. If this was +3, the Bills, I'd be trying to convince you to come on the other side and take the Bills. But the fact we're catching points in a game that should really be a pick 'em. Like the bookmakers, they're giving us a lot of free points here, and the public is taking it. It's the same thing as it feels like with Burrow, where it's like we have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. We have him under a field goal. We're going to take him here on the road in week 1 in a divisional game. And that's just not smart betting. Where in week 10 and 11, it'd be a totally different scenario. But in week 1, this is the bet you make. You take the Jets here. You take the points. This is one of these I really can't pass on this number.
All right, well, look, Simon, like the big challenge here is that we've got to narrow this down a little bit because right now we're talking Browns, we're talking Steelers, we're talking Colts, we're talking Texans, we're talking Patriots, we're talking Jets. That's 6. We don't have the Falcons in there as a favorite. We're committing to the Colts as our foxhole. We're committing to the Texans as our big bet. We're going to have to make a call on Sunday. We don't have to do it yet because we got a lot more stuff to get to. But
yeah, like I love the Jets, but I'm telling people it's like a 99% chance me and Chad drop it because I can't imagine being 4-0 and having to wait a whole nother day. Or we're 0-4 and now I have to wait 24 hours for our lives to stay 1-4. Because again, me and Chad, we've never gone 0-5. So I don't know if I can wait that whole time for that the next day for that game, Chad. But do love the Jets, but that they simply might get cut just because we both can't stand waiting 24 hours until that game.
All right. Like I said, we've narrowed it down. We love the Browns. We love the Steelers. We love the Texans. We love the Patriots. The Jets are going to be a question mark. They really, really are. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait. We got some more stuff to get to, but first, Simon, the fastest growing ticketing app in the United States is Game Time. I love Game Time for 2 reasons. 1, they sponsor this show. 2, I actually use Game Time to buy tickets. They've got amazing last minute deals on all sorts of tickets, including pro and college football games. I'm opening the Game Time app right now from my house here in Connecticut. I could go to the US Open. I could go to the Jets Monday night football game. I can still get into the Yankees games for $6, New York Liberty for under 30. No matter where you live, download the Game Time app, get out and have some fun this week. Go sweat your bets live and in person, and you can redeem code FAVORITES for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the app and enter code FAVORITES for $20 off. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right. Simon, should we talk about a survivor?
Yes, let's do it. There's only one play.
Tell me what you think it is.
It's as easy as you can get. When else would we take the Commanders? When else are we able to bet against a team without their starting quarterback and Kyler Murray? So this is one of these where I'm happy to attack Arizona early here until Kyler's back. And, you go through and try to make a list of the worst teams in football. Could be this Cardinals team. You could throw Tampa in there. You could throw Carolina in there. You could throw the Rams in there. Like, there's a couple of teams that, you put them on your list and you look up where there's different matchups. Washington doesn't really have that many easy games. And this, to me, is one of these where we take them. If we get knocked out week 1 on Washington, great. It's over. We don't have to worry about it the rest of the year. If we win, even better. We've used Washington now. We don't have to use Washington the rest of the season. So this is one of these where I think last year, it was the Colts. I literally want to say like 80% of my league got knocked out last year on the Colts in week 1 because the tie counts as a loss.
Yeah.
Again, check the rules of your book or wherever you're doing it through. But to me, how do we not? Like, Washington's one of those teams where it's like I'm taking their money line, I'm throwing it with the Chiefs' money line. Like, it's just one of those teams where the Arizona could come back and cover that number at the end. But if Sam's on a total bust at quarterback for them, they should be able to win this game pretty handily. So just based on talent on the field, like, Washington has a ton of talent offensively and defensively. They should be able to handle this Arizona team. So could look like a total idiot with my foot in my mouth come Monday when they somehow lose to a backup quarterback who just got picked up by the team not even a week ago. But how do we not take this? And just based on the Commander schedule, we'd never be able to take them again. So it feels like survivor pick. We just have to go with the public. Got to ride with the Commanders. I mean, we could take the Ravens at a different point in this year. I know a lot of people are taking them just because, again, they're playing a rookie on the road in his first start. But, putting a lot of faith here into the Washington football team.
Yeah, so I'm cutting to Tuesday when I'm saying to everybody, boy, that was a fun season of Survivor, wasn't it?
Well, that's why I got to tune in Sunday night. People going to live in our misery.
Listen, the other company that we're lucky enough to have sponsoring us right now, this one is right up my alley because everybody at Action knows how I treat my body like a temple. That's why I've been so excited about our new sponsor, Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. Factor hooks you up with delicious, chef-prepared, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your house. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with a healthy lifestyle. Our producer, Matt Mitchell, also has been a Factor guy for a year now. 3 main things we love about Factor: no chopping, prepping, or cleaning up. You get great flavor and the nutritional quality you need to tackle polarizing topics like the Atlanta Falcons or the Washington Commanders as your survivor pick. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So this fall, run your own 2-minute drill with Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Select your meals and enjoy fresh meals delivered to your door. Just head to factormeals.com/favorites50. That's favorites50 and use code favorites50 to get 50% off. That's code favorites50 at factormeals.com/favorites50 to get 50% off. One more thing to do, Simon. Money line round robin. Let me start layering in the teams. So this is when we pick the underdogs on the money line who we think would have good chances to win and would make a great round robin. Basically what you do is you pair each of these teams for a small amount of money, and you make a money line round robin parlay out of it. So here we go. I don't hate the Chiefs at plus 190. I love the Browns at plus 120.
The Chiefs aren't a dog.
Let me see the Lions. I like the Lions at plus 190.
Don't do it. I'm
so convinced. Oh, I'm just throwing some things out there. I'm making some ideas right now. Browns plus 120.
Yeah.
Definitely. Steelers plus 115.
Yep.
I'm tempted by Titans at plus 147.
I don't hate it.
All right. All right.
So for me, I had us, but we were going to take Cleveland.
Yep.
I had us taking Pittsburgh. We can't not do it just because so many pros love it, and we need a big dog here. So for us, for the big dog, I thought we'd throw the Bucks in. Like,
okay,
just a completely outside shot that they can come back and win that game. Because we could do the Colts. I think the Colts will cover that number. I just can't see a scenario with them win. Like, it's just so much would have to go wrong for the Jaguars for them to win. So, yeah, for my big dog, I feel better going the Bucks. I don't hate if you want to go Tennessee, I'll put that one in, and then we'll finish it off. Would you rather do Giants or the Jets? I feel better about the Jets.
Okay, I was going to say Jets or Patriots, so let's go with the Jets.
Yeah, let's do the Jets.
Okay, so our money line round robin parlay will be the New York Jets, the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Tampa Bay Bucks, and the Tennessee Titans. So basically what you'll do is you'll match Jets Browns, Jets Steelers, Jets Bucks, Jets Titans again and again and again with each team. So you get a pair for your money line round robin parlay. Brother, we will be back with Convince Me. You, me, Chris Raybon, Sean Kerner, plus Evan Abrams and Darren Ravel on the Action Network News Desk. 11 a.m. We will be followed by the Touchdown Show, headed by Gilles Gallant. It will be part of the Action Network Power Hour. You will be able to watch that in the Action Network app, on Action Network YouTube. As a reminder, the Favorites podcast is proudly presented by Bet365, the world's favorite sportsbook brand. Sign up with promo code ACTION to get Bet365's exclusive sign-up offer. Bet $1 on any game and get $200 in bonus bets. Must be 21 or older. Offer is available in Colorado, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, and Iowa. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Reminder, if you're watching us on YouTube, punch that like button, smash it, subscribe. We really appreciate it. Download us from Apple Podcasts, from Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Rate, review, subscribe, leave us 5 stars, say whatever you want. Feedback is a gift. For Simon Hunter, I am Chad Millman. We'll see you Sunday night to recap all the misery from Sunday and preview what's happening for the rest of the week. 7:30 Eastern, live on YouTube, in the app. Download us. Until next time, love you.